When you stand in front of people and talk about what you do, it doesn't always inspire them. It doesn't always move them to trust you. But when you begin by showing them why you do what you do, everything changes. People are not searching for perfection. They're searching for clarity. They want to know that the person in front of them has a reason, a purpose, a belief that guides them. And clarity of purpose is the very thing that builds confidence. Because when people see that you are not just wandering through your work, when they see that you are not simply chasing trends or following the crowd, they begin to believe in you. They trust you because your actions have an anchor, and that anchor is your why. Think of the leaders who inspire us the most. They do not have all the answers, but they have direction. They don't claim to know every step of the journey, but they are certain of the destination they are aiming for. That certainty is magnetic. It gives people something to lean on, something steady in a world that is often unpredictable. And in that steadiness, trust is formed. When your why is clear, even mistakes are forgiven, because people can see that your intent remains honest and consistent. They are not trusting your perfection, they are trusting your intent. We are naturally drawn to people who stand firm in their beliefs. When someone speaks with clarity about why they exist, we listen differently. It feels real, it feels grounded. That is because clarity reduces doubt, and when doubt is reduced, trust takes its place. Think about it. When you are uncertain about someone's motives, your trust is shaky. But when you know exactly what they stand for, when their purpose is transparent, you relax, you lean in, you give them your confidence. This is why leaders and organizations that begin with why build trust that outlasts circumstances. Even in times of uncertainty, their clarity provides stability. People rally behind them because they are not confused about the motive, not confused about the goal. Clarity of purpose doesn't just inspire, it provides assurance. And assurance is the foundation of trust. Over time, that trust becomes loyalty. People return, people stay, people follow, not because they have to, but because they believe. And it all begins with something as simple, yet as powerful, as being crystal clear about your why. Consistency is one of the most underrated qualities when it comes to building trust. We live in a world where promises are made every day but are just as quickly broken. People say one thing and then do another. That kind of inconsistency leaves us skeptical, guarded, and hesitant to believe. But when your actions are grounded in your why, you act with a rhythm that people can count on. You are no longer swayed by every passing trend or every short-term opportunity. Instead, your decisions, your behavior, your words all line up in a predictable pattern, and predictability is the soil in which trust grows. Think about it. Trust isn't formed in a single moment. It's not built in one grand gesture. Trust comes from repetition. It comes from seeing someone show up again and again, proving over time that what they say and what they do are aligned. When people see that your why fuels this consistency, they begin to relax around you. They know they don't have to second-guess your motives because your behavior makes them feel safe, and safety is at the very heart of loyalty. When we look at the leaders or organizations that inspire us most, their consistency is not accidental. It's not about stubbornly repeating the same actions. It's about making decisions that always point back to their core purpose. That's why even when they innovate, even when they evolve, people still recognize them. They don't confuse us because their why is the thread that ties every choice together. And in that consistency, we feel reassured. It's the same in our personal lives. Imagine a friend who is reliable, who always follows through on their word. You don't doubt them because their actions over time have proven trustworthy. Now, compare that with someone who's unpredictable. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're aligned, sometimes they contradict themselves. Which one would you lean on in moments of need? The answer is obvious. Consistency creates predictability, and predictability builds trust. When your why drives you, people will see that pattern in you. They'll see that you don't just act consistently when it's convenient, but that you live consistently because it's who you are. That kind of alignment sends a powerful message. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Over time, this becomes the foundation of loyalty because people will always choose to stand with those they can predict, those they can trust. Authenticity is one of the deepest human needs we search for in others. We are constantly asking ourselves, often subconsciously, can I believe this person? Are they real? We don't just want polished words or perfect presentations. We want to feel that what we're hearing and seeing is genuine. That is why your why matters so much. Your why isn't something you invent, it's something you uncover. It reflects the core of who you are and why you exist. And when you lead, speak, or act from that place, people can feel it. They don't just hear your message, they experience it. That resonance creates an emotional bond that logic alone can never achieve. We have to remember that human beings are emotional before they are logical. Long before we decide with our minds, we feel with our hearts. When someone is authentic, it bypasses our skepticism and touches something deeper inside of us. That's why we're drawn to leaders who share not only their successes, but also their struggles, who show up as real people instead of carefully manufactured images. Their why shines through their vulnerability, and it makes us trust them more, not less. When you act from authenticity, people stop questioning your motives. They no longer wonder if you are in it just for yourself or for short-term gain. They begin to sense that you are driven by something larger, something meaningful. And meaning is magnetic. It pulls people in because we are all searching for it in our own lives. Your authenticity gives others permission to be authentic too, creating relationships that are built not on surface-level transactions, but on deep emotional connection. Consider why some brands or leaders inspire cult-like loyalty while others fade into irrelevance. It isn't about the size of their budget or the cleverness of their slogans. It's about whether people believe them. And belief is born out of authenticity. When your why is visible in every decision, every word, and every action, people trust you because they can see you're not performing, you're simply being. In a world full of noise, authenticity is rare, and rare things are treasured. When you let your why guide you, you don't need to pretend, you don't need to prove, you simply need to show up as you are, and that is what resonates most with people. That is what creates trust, and that is what transforms trust into lasting loyalty. People don't follow you because of the products you sell or the services you offer. They follow you because of what you believe. At the heart of every strong relationship, whether in business or in life, lies a sense of shared belief. It's not about convincing others to see the world exactly as you do. It's about showing them your why clearly enough so that those who already share your values can recognize themselves in you. And when people see their own beliefs reflected back, they feel understood, they feel seen. That is the beginning of deep trust and loyalty. We are social creatures wired for connection, and connection is strongest when it is built around something meaningful. Think of the communities, movements, or organizations that have stood the test of time. They didn't grow just because of what they offered, they grew because of the beliefs they represented. People weren't simply buying products, they were buying into an idea. They were saying, this leader, this brand, this cause, they stand for what I stand for. That alignment forms bonds that are far stronger than any contract or incentive. When your why is clear, it acts like a beacon. It attracts those who believe what you believe, and the beauty of this is that loyalty built on shared beliefs doesn't need constant persuasion. You don't have to keep proving yourself or competing for attention. People stay not because you convince them once, but because you continually affirm what they already hold true in their hearts. This is why shared beliefs are so powerful. They transform relationships from transactional to transformational. This principle holds true for leadership as well. Employees don't just want a paycheck. They want to feel like the work they do matters, that it's connected to something bigger. When leaders communicate their why and align it with the beliefs of their teams, people don't just show up to work. They show up with passion. They give their energy, their creativity, their loyalty, because they believe they are contributing to something meaningful. Shared beliefs are the glue that holds trust together. They make relationships resilient, able to withstand challenges and setbacks, because when people share your why, they are not just connected to you, they are committed to the same cause. And that kind of commitment is the foundation of loyalty that lasts for years, sometimes even a lifetime. Commitment is not something you can buy, demand, or manipulate. True commitment comes when people feel inspired. That's the difference between a transactional relationship and a loyal one. When your why is clear, you move beyond transactions. You give people a reason to stay, not because they're obligated, but because they want to. Inspiration creates a bond that contracts never could. It's the invisible thread that ties people to you, even when times get tough or when opportunities arise elsewhere. We've all seen examples of relationships that only last as long as the benefits are flowing. Customers who switch to the next cheapest option, employees who leave for a slightly higher paycheck, friends who disappear when things get hard, those relationships are fragile because they were built on short-term gain. But when people trust your why, when they believe in what you believe, the relationship becomes resilient. It stops being about convenience and starts being about conviction. Conviction is what keeps people by your side even when there are easier options. What makes this so powerful is that commitment is not forced, it's chosen, and people don't choose to commit with their heads first, they commit with their hearts. That is why your why matters. It gives people something meaningful to attach themselves to, something that goes beyond personal benefit. They see that your purpose is not self-serving, that it has meaning beyond profit or recognition. And in turn, they choose to align their journey with yours. They give their loyalty because they feel inspired, not because they feel trapped. Leadership at its core is about creating an environment where people want to give their best, not because they are told to, but because they are moved to. When you operate from your why, you send a message that you are not here to simply take care of yourself. You are here to take care of others. And that care inspires a commitment that is lasting. People will follow you through change, through uncertainty, even through failure, because they know your intent is true. Commitment built on why is powerful because it outlives circumstances. It doesn't dissolve when challenges come. In fact, it often grows stronger. That's the beauty of inspiration. It transforms temporary interest into enduring loyalty. And that kind of loyalty is not just long-term, it's unshakable. When we look at trust and loyalty, it's tempting to believe they are earned by clever strategies or short-term wins. But the truth is, trust and loyalty are human. They come from belief, from connection, from inspiration. Your why is the anchor that makes this possible. It is your clarity that gives others confidence, your consistency that makes you reliable, your authenticity that creates resonance, your shared beliefs that build bonds, and your ability to inspire that turns relationships into lasting commitments. None of this is about perfection, it's about purpose. People don't stay with you because of what you do, they stay because of why you do it. And when you lead, live, and act from that place, you build something far greater than success. You build trust, you earn loyalty, and those are the things that last long after the products are forgotten, long after the moments have passed. That is the legacy of living with a clear and unwavering why.